Right, here we are at the site of the Roman Verulamium. Ta-da! But there's a lot of old-fashioned flowers here. Look, I see they're pot marigolds, calendula. They're old-fashioned flowers anyway. So they've got lots of old-fashioned flowers here. But look at all this. This is rather nice, isn't it? The old shed there, obviously not a bit. What are they called? Roman, but it's nice anyway. And lovely gnarled tree here, elm. Well, we come from Elm Walk anyway, so there you go. And then we go around the corner where the old tractor is there, and we go around there and see what there is, eh? Yay. What say you, Mrs. Brown? Obviously they've had to lovely park there. Part of a mosaic.
Yay!
And there we are, that's the Roman mosaic and hypocroft. Right, and it's serendipity again, as we usually do. We just come here on the off chance. We've been shopping and we decided to come straight here. 29th September, look at the day it closes. Tomorrow. So we just about made it, didn't we? So here we are.
Aye, it's great.
And it's supported by the Heritage Lottery Fund again.
Yeah.
So
opens again on the 1st, but for the winter. So this is the end of the summer. For tomorrow. End of the summer tomorrow.
So
brilliant. There we are. See what's going on inside. Yeah.
Amazing.
Hey, brilliant.
Great. Going right back now on Winter Road.
Yeah.
Been to medieval times.
I know.
Tudor times. Now it's Roman.
Here we go.
Got back to the dinosaurs.
Back to when you were born. That's what your grandkids say anyway. I love it.
This is the mosaic, which is the floor of a great Roman house. And it was, they reckon it was built AD 180, right? Yeah. And this would have been a big Roman manor house. It's quite something, as you say. But the thing is, the interesting thing is that the hypercost, which if you're wondering what it is underground heating. So their floors were heated. So rather than us having central heating, the Romans had underground heating, and you can see from there the pipes would have gone down into there with hot water to warm the floor. So that's how they heated their houses. Quite advanced when you come to think of it. And there's 200, this piece alone, there's 220,000 tiles.
Wow.
Just in that bit. And I presume that part over there would have been what's left of a column in the house. So, but it's quite amazing how well preserved this is. Look at that. Can you imagine the Romans perhaps would have been sitting there at their tables and eating their dinners. Amazing, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Wow.
Incredible, isn't it? Yeah. Amazing. And here are pieces of pottery from the era taken from this huge manor house. You can see them there. At more or less a table leather, and there's pieces of the tile, the mosaics. There, we'll look at it in another way. We've got some pottery, including a Samian cup and Samian bowl and flagons and jars. These, of course, are fragments of the actual floor. So, but look at those pots and bowls. And they look like that, and you can see them against the mosaic. Amazing, aren't they? Quite something, that. Yeah, it's St Albans. Third visit to St Albans recently. See historical things. Yeah, to give you a good idea of what these houses would look like, this gives you the types of houses with the gardens and woodlands and whatever around them, and farms and farmhouses as well. But there would have been the manor houses. These, there's one up the top there as well, and another one there. So this is what these houses would have been like, quite lush really and large, with tree-lined streets, you notice as well, and crossroads. So really the modern towns of today are still based on the Roman towns, or Verulamium.
Clever stuff.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. That's well worth a visit here, wasn't it, Boo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Educational.
Exactly. Here we are looking at it from a slightly different angle, where you can see what's left of the walls of the building as well. So that would have been, this would have been one room, of course, and of course the doorway right over there, you see, that would have been where the door was. Doorway. Quite amazing. Incredible. Lots of history, don't we, Boo?
Good, isn't it?
The Roman times. So, what date was that again? Where?
AD 180.
AD 180. There you are. 180 years after Christ, in fact. There you go. Verulamium, to give it a it says you're here. How do they know we're here? That's amazing, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, so coming away from the Verulamium.
Turn left, then
And
turn
we've got
left,
these.
E4100 Hempstead Road.
Yeah. Well, there's the pub as we're leaving St Albans called King Harry. Like Nikki says, we won't see King Harry in our lifetime. William maybe, but not Harry. The King Harry pub. Interesting. We come back soon and find the oldest pub, one of the oldest pubs in England, St Albans, apparently. We're on our way round the sites of St Albans. Look at these cyclamen growing here in the park where the Roman things are. Aren't they beautiful? Lovely, aren't they, Bo?
They're gorgeous, aren't they?
Yeah, cyclamen.
Very pretty.
Lovely. Neapolitanum by the look of it, I think. There, and there's a bloody manhole cover spoiling the view. Well, here we are, babe, continuing our Roman journey.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, you know, gladiators and everything.
Yeah.
And here we are at the the Roman town of Verulamium. Queen Boudicca gave it the thumbs down, apparently. Oh, there's she is herself.
They're fighting against them.
Yeah, indeed. But this is, look, this is the ruins of the old theatre. I mean, when you come to think what is left of it, it's quite amazing. I mean, there's a dressing room there, look. And then the rest of it is the theatre. Now, if we go up there, we'll probably see more of it from the top, but this gives you a good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay! So we venture forth.
Yay. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up! We give it a thumbs up, never mind, British.
Hi guys. So Pete Perry, what do you think?
Hey! Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend to your ears. There's the
There we
old
are.
theatre, look, the
Yeah.
old Roman theatre.
Wow.
Seen from the top of the hill.
Gosh.
Here. And isn't that amazing?
It is.
Look, so
Wow.
Like the dressing rooms are over there.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, still preserved. That is quite amazing. I think,
Fab.
And I presume that is the arena in the middle there.
It looks like it.
And people would have sat around.
Gosh.
So that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some more pictures from another angle too.
Yes, I
I
know.
think there's other places that have been excavated around here. We'll have a look at them.
Fab,
too.
isn't it?
So yeah.
How cool. Right, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Right on the doorstep, St Albans.
It's right on the doorstep, yeah.
Right, let's have a look. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, see you soon.
We move on.
Yeah.
There we are. The theatre for drama, mime shows, and absolute mayhem. And they put here, you would have found the seats a little hard. Well, you would actually, wouldn't you? I suppose. So we're looking down at the stage here, and an open area in front called the orchestra, and you can see that was how it would have played out. The people would have been on those raised bits, the seats would have been there, and then right down in the front there where the column is, that would actually be the stage itself where people would have performed. And as I said, we looked at right over there in the right hand corner would have been the dressing room, so they would have come from there onto the stage and performed, and everybody would have cheered, booed, or thrown rotten apples or whatever. And funnily enough, we found an apple tree, didn't we?
Yeah.
We'll show you that later on the way back, perhaps. Growing here too, so I don't know how old the apple tree is, it's probably not that old. But isn't it amazing? But look, if you see the whole panoramic view here, you get it's quite incredible. I mean, it takes you right back. Roman times, I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? To think that this is here. There's the gatehouse over there, which you have to come through over here. Is quite something. And then you go all the way up there. Isn't that amazing? Right on our doorstep, like Nikki said. And then the countryside rolling out over there. There we are. So amazing. Imagine we would have been, could have gone down there and sat on those hard seats. But this is from another angle again. There you see it. Look where we are now. We're at this other end here, which is the orchestra, as they call it, in the middle there, and then the stage itself is there where the column is, and the players would have performed there, and everybody would have been sitting around looking at the stage. So quite amazing. And then the beautiful Archer countryside around as well. So yeah, incredible. Really amazing this, I love it. Yeah. So where's the next play on? The programme. Just spotted a wild Verulamium down there growing right into that little dip where we're standing up here on the hill. There's a bonus from there's a gardener. And action. So here we had bullfights, sword fights,
Wow.
and public executions.
Oh my goodness me.
The pantomime was quite popular too. But they had
This is funny.
gladiatorial fights
Good heavens.
and wild beast shows. You
Crumbs.
see
Yeah.
the crap out of
I was going to
it.
say, yeah.
And Nikki just had a big bee.
Oh no.
But it's just, that's all right. It won't-
Crumbs,
it's a
crikey.
honey bee, it won't sting you.
Crumbs, crikey, that was massive.
And there's the rest of it from this angle.
Yeah.
More or less the angle
Wow.
that
How
the
cool.
actors would have been on the stage here,
Yeah.
and they would have faced the audience up the front.
There you go.
see
For all
on
the
other end
theatrics
there.
out there.
So, yeah,
Theatrical, sorry.
that's right. And if you give me this, the camera, Boo,
Okay.
while it's still filming.
Okay.
And
Right.
you'll have a look. Look, there's a bumblebee that's
Still
just
on me?
landed.
Oh my God! Fuck, pardon my language.
It's
Sorry,
a big one,
sport,
isn't
sorry.
it? But-
I didn't know it's still on me.
He's quite docile, and he's just landed on
Blimey, that's
Nikki
massive.
there.
I didn't know it's still
But
on me.
we carry on. He won't sting you.
Crumbs, quite, yes,
he's
massive.
a honeybee. He's a honeybee.
crumbs.
So he won't. So
Ah,
he's just resting there.
Oh my word! It's
So-
massive.
Yeah, if you just carry on walking, he'll probably fly away.
I hope so.
says Nikki. I
my
hope
apologies,
so.
I swore,
Hang on, let's take a picture of
Oh my
it.
goodness
Nikki, she's still got the bee on there, walking
least
very
it's
gingerly. Right, as we go along there with
least it's not
the
a
bee
snake
sitting
or
on. I think he's
tarantula.
made his home there.
Oh my goodness!
Somehow.
I've attracted a friend.
She's got a friend for life here.
Oh,
wasn't
crumbs.
the bumblebee, the white.
Crumbs is massive.
Right, but here we are now at the triumphal arch, and there again, this where the players would have actually played to the audience. So here you've got a view from the stage, really, looking out onto the audience. Isn't that amazing? Though? And there you go. So, yeah, you all right, Bo?
I'll be glad when it's gone.
Here he is. He's still there, look.
Oh no!
Oh, bless him.
Seems to have made a nest there.
Come on, you can't.
It's home for the day.
Yeah,
Crumbs.
I think we'll have to
Oh God,
move you or
me.
something.
There you go. It's moved. It's gone. That was quick. It's gone now. Phew! I'm so pleased that wasn't a tarantula or a snake. That would have reacted differently.
Let it
Yeah,
come onto
it's
my
gone now.
hand, and then we let it go.
Oh, gone. My legs. Okay. Oh, gone. Yeah, it's gone. There you
What I
are.
didn't tell Nikki was that was a queen bee, and if it stayed there too long, the other bees would have come and swallowed
Oh,
her.
God. He didn't tell me that, did he? Oh, little sod.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, shall we? Before I swear. No, I'm joking.
Right near this site of the theatre, there's an apple tree. Look, and it's got lovely ripe apples on it. You can see that. We don't get the sun in our eyes, but there's apples on the tree there. See them?
Yeah, they're
Nice big red apples.
They're lovely, aren't they? Yum,
They're
yum.
lovely, yummy.
Apple pie, yum.
There they are. So, isn't that amazing? Look at that.
Lovely,
Lovely
jubbly.
apple tree. Well, look, it's quite an honour actually here to see this, because they've only recently started excavating this,
Right.
and you see over there, these are shops,
Yeah.
and here
Quite an eye-opener.
is the site of the timber shops where they sold all the wooden stuff. Over there is the site of a carpenter's shop. There you are. And here is the bronze work shop. There's the carpenter's shop next to it there. And then over here is the wine shop. Now you're talking. Because of course the Romans, like now, Italian wines are, you know, Estimaranti and things like that, they're famous, but the Romans, even in these days, used to produce wine. They were famous for wine making, and they actually had vineyards here in England. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but so, especially down in Devon and Cornwall, they had vineyards there, produced their own wine, and only recently we started producing wine again in England. So, quite interesting. Nikki's got over the.
I'm not jumping, don't worry.
It's an underground shrine. Look at that. No, she's not jumping in, despite the bee being on her a little while ago.
Yeah.
But you look right down there. There it is. Look, that's quite deep, isn't it? Right through
Wow,
the.
isn't it?
We go through the
Your
grids
dungeons.
there. You can see. It's yeah.
There you go when you've been naughty.
Yeah, presumably, I don't know.
I don't know.
And there's a hot tongue fern down there I see right out of the wall. And we'll have a look. There's more excavations here. Look, see the old Roman
Wow.
work, what's left of it.
Yeah.
We'll go around the other side and find out what this is, shall we? In this area where the theatre is close at hand, we've got shops, designer homewares and central heating. Isn't this supposed to be ancient history? Well, we talked about the central heating, didn't we, in that big manor house? But there you go, look. there's a 2nd century townhouse. That's what this is. And yeah, it's quite something really. We'll probably see it better from a higher vantage point in a minute. But of course that dungeon, Nikki was looking down, there's probably actually no more than a wine cellar actually. They'll probably get their wine in there at the back of the house just to keep it cool, which I know often they do used to do that.
Yeah, they had lots, back in the day.
Ice down there and keep it cool.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so this is bless you. So there we go, see, look at that.
Wow.
That's more or less what it would have been like. The main house, the shops, entrance to the underground shrine, there you go, see?
Wow.
Communal latrines, that's what this townhouse would have been like.
Gosh. The modern house we've got now.
But there it is from a better vantage point. It's quite soft there, we're up on the hill here, you see, looking down on there. And that is the complete townhouse, as was. So over there, and then over that way, there was the shops, you see, which we looked at before. So there we are. There's some children coming along now, part of your children. We were lucky, we had it to ourselves a while ago. There you are, and after our Roman adventure, we're here at the Ye Olde Fighting Cocks, which I believe dates back to the 17th century. Oh no, 11th century. 11th century, possibly even earlier.
Pubs in England.
I don't know, but it's one of the
Might be the
earliest.
oldest, I'm not sure, but one of them.
Yeah, but there you go. Isn't that amazing? So we're going to go in here another
There we are.
What did it say?
It says at the bottom, the underground tunnels of the inn provided useful bolt holes in troubled times. Dating back to, it says here, Oliver Cromwell
Ooh,
stayed here during the Civil War.
wow, how about
Leading
that?
his horse.
Wow.
It goes back a bit, this pub.
Have a bolt holes in we are inside the pub now. It's the oldest pub. And
Cheers.
in the Guinness Book of Records too, there's this. And I've got me porter.
Yeah.
So keep it traditional, and there's a
Sorry about
phone
the noise,
going,
it's your
but I'll
phone
have
going
to.
off now.
Yeah, we'll have to wait now until I've done this. So look at the old
Wow.
stove there. This really is a lovely place. Look at that. Yeah, I'll answer that phone in a minute. They always seem to phone me when I'm doing something for some reason or another. But isn't it lovely here? Look at that. Look. And there's all that down there. See how beautiful that is? And around here, light apart, but really lovely. And out there, all the houses as well. But yeah, all that beautiful work here. And over here, I noticed the old piano. Because my dad used to play the piano in their pubs. He was a pub pianist, a good pianist too. He could hear a tune once and he'd pick it up and be able to play it by ear. So that reminds me of back when, in the 40s and 50s, when we used to have parties at my Uncle Bert and Auntie Amy's house. Betty and Beryl and Kenny all remember that. So, but it's lovely, isn't it? That lovely, beautiful place. Oh yes, indeed. Lovely. Well, here we are. This is the old Roman gateway to the Verulamium of St Albans. St Albans. This is the original gateway. You can see some of the modern brickwork that has been used to patch it up there, but the flintstone there is all original. So it's quite amazingly preserved, really, when you come to think of it. And of course that part over there is being used as a school, but it is all part of, not the wall in the front there, but behind it, all the stonework is the original. Amazing, isn't it? Isn't that incredible? Well, here we are. I might have given you some bum information there because it's actually the great gateway of the monastery. It was erected in the 1360s and besieged in 1381 by the insurgents in the Peasants' Revolt. Oh, I remember it well, yeah. The third printing press in England is said to have been housed here in 1479. So from 1553 till 1869, it was the local prison. Since 1871, it has formed part of St Albans School. But look, we're inside the gateway now. So that's quite amazing. Isn't it amazing? Look at this. Now we're inside, we're now down onto the road, and of course the cathedral is over there. But it's an amazing archway. Look at that. Incredible. And my angel's incredible too. Yeah, that originally was the prison. It's a school now, apparently. And we come back here through the archway, which is right up there. And of course, just around the corner, like I said, there's the actual St Albans Cathedral, which we visited just the other day, didn't we? I left my straw hat there. I don't think they've got it now, though. And then we've got a lovely park, and we're going to go along here now. This lovely walkway. Goodbye to the grounds here and the cathedral, which is through the bushes there, and the gateway. And we're going on to off home now. There we go.